I want to share something I've never really said directly before. At 50, my divorce became official, but the truth is my life had been changing for many years before that. I had spent a long time holding things together, showing up, being strong, and getting on with life. And then somewhere in the middle of all that change, I did something that surprised even me. I booked a trip alone, not to run away, not to prove anything, but because something inside of me knew I needed to find myself again. And that is where this story really begins. Let me take you back a little, because this didn't start with one big dramatic moment. It started quietly. From the outside, my life probably looked perfect. The family, the children, the nice house, the nice car, good jobs, traveling, all the things people often look and say, she has everything. And in many ways, I was grateful for so much of it. But inside, I knew something was changing. My marriage had been struggling for years, not in one sudden dramatic way, more in that slower, quiet way where you realize two people have just grown in different directions and neither of you really know what to do with that. I think many women will understand this. You keep showing up, you keep organizing, you keep managing, you keep putting one foot in front of the other, and somewhere along the way you stop asking yourself what you actually want. Not what everybody else needs, not what looks right from the outside, but what you want. Who are you? What kind of life still feels possible? And for a long time, I didn't really know the answer. Then 2015, I was 48. I took my first solo backpacking trip to Spain, and I want to be clear about this. That trip didn't suddenly change my whole life. It didn't fix everything. It didn't been struggling for years before then. But Spain changed something in me. I remember standing at the airport with my backpack thinking, what on earth am I doing? I was scared. I had a rough plan. I didn't really know how it would all work out. And if I'm honest, part of me wondered whether I was too old to be doing this. A woman in her late 40s, traveling alone, backpacking through Spain. But I went anyway, and something happened on that trip that even I didn't expect. For the first time in years, I had space. No one else's plans, no one else's needs, no one asking what's next, no one to organize, no one to look after. Just me, my backpack, a new country, and a lot of quiet moments with myself. I remember sitting alone at cafes, walking through streets on my own, trying to work out things in other languages, getting lost, finding my way again, and slowly I started to hear myself, not loudly, not all at once, but little by little I began to feel that I was still there. The curious part of me, the capable part of me, the woman who wanted more from life. But it woke something up in me. It was the beginning of choosing myself again. In September 2017, my divorce became official. I was 50, and I'm not going to go into all the details of the marriage ending because that's not what this video is really about. But what I will say is this: the legal end had happened on paper. Emotionally, it had been happening for a long time, and when it became official, there was grief. Of course there was grief. Even when you know something is right, there is still grief for the life you thought you were going to have, the future you imagined, the family structure you knew, the version of yourself who have tried so hard to make everything work. But alongside the grief, there was also something else, clarity, a quiet feeling of now I have to begin again. And that is both terrifying and strangely powerful, because starting again at 50 is not easy. You question yourself, your choices, you wonder what people will think, you wonder whether it's too late to build a different kind of life. But I also remember feeling somewhere underneath all that fear that maybe this was not the end of my story. Maybe this was the beginning of a new chapter. One I hadn't planned, one I didn't even understand, but one that was mine. The years after my divorce are what I now call my rebuilding years. And solo travel became a very big part of that rebuilding. Not as an escape, not as a way of avoiding life, but as a way of coming back to myself. Every time I traveled alone, I collected a little piece of confidence. Every time I walked through a new city by myself, I proved to myself that I could manage. Every time a booking went wrong, or a train was delayed, or I had to work something out alone, I built trust in myself again. And that trust mattered, because After years of change, after years of uncertainty, I needed evidence that I was capable. I remember the first few times I sat in a restaurant alone. I felt so self-conscious. I wondered if people were looking at me. I wondered if they thought I was lonely. But then I realized something. Most people weren't thinking about me at all. They were just getting on with their own lives. And there I was, sitting at a table for one, having a meal in a new place, and slowly realizing I was okay. Actually, more than okay. I was free to choose what I wanted to eat, free to walk where I wanted, free to wake up when I wanted, free to change my plans, free to listen to myself. And these may sound like small things, but when you spent years organizing life around everybody else's needs, they are not small things, they are huge. Because sometimes that biggest question is not where am I going? It's actually what do I actually want? Solo travel helped me ask that question. Around this time, I also began sharing more of my travel stories. At first, it wasn't a big business idea. It was simply me documenting where I had been traveling, sharing photos, sharing experiences, writing about the places that moved me. And slowly, Travels of the World began to take shape. Not because I had everything figured out. I absolutely didn't. But because I realized that my story was not just about travel. It was about starting again, about confidence, about identity, about becoming a woman who no longer waited for permission to live her life. And the more I shared, the more I realized other women recognized parts of themselves in my story. Women over 50, women rebuilding, women who had spent years caring for others, women who were asking, what now? What about me? Is it too late? And that became the heart of what I do. Because travel for me has never just been about destinations. It has been about remembering who I am. In June 2019, at the age of 52 now, I married again. But I want to say this carefully because the way we tell these stories matters. I didn't marry again because someone rescued me. I didn't marry again because I needed someone to complete me. That wasn't the story. The story is that I had spent time rebuilding myself first. I had learned to travel alone, to make decisions alone, to trust myself again, to sit with myself, to enjoy my own company, to build a life that felt like mine. And from that stronger place, I allowed love into my life again. That is very different. Yes, I am married. And yes, I still travel solo. I travel alone. Both can be true. I think sometimes women are made to feel they have to choose. You are either independent, or you are in a relationship, or you are either adventurous or you're settled. You are either solo or you're partnered. But life is not always that simple. I can love my husband and still need my own space, still need my own travels. I can share a life with someone and still have parts of myself that I continue to explore alone. For me, independence had to come first. Not because I wanted to be alone forever, but because I needed to know I could stand on my own. And once I knew that, everything changed. So when people ask me why I travel solo, my answer is very different now. At first I thought it was about adventure, seeing something new, seeing something different, doing something different. But now I know it was much more deeper than that. Solo travel helped me rebuild my confidence. It helped me hear myself again. It helped me become the woman I had lost touch with. And it reminded me that starting again is possible, even when life doesn't turn out the way you expected. Because sometimes the life you didn't plan becomes the life that brings you back to yourself. If you are watching this and you are in your own season of change, maybe after a divorce, maybe after your children have grown and left home, maybe after a loss, maybe after years of putting everyone else's needs first, I want you to know this. You are not too late. You are not too old, and you don't have to have the whole map worked out before you take that first step. You just have to take one baby step. For me, that step was solo travel. For you, it might be something else. But there is still a version of you waiting to be heard, a version of you who is curious, who is capable, who is brave and ready for more life. Not the perfect life, not a life without fear, but a life that feels more honest, more spacious, more yours. And that woman you are becoming, she is worth finding. So this channel is going to be all about that. Solo travel after 50, wellness travel, luxury travel with meaning, reinvention, confidence, and the honest parts of starting again. The beautiful parts, the difficult parts, because I think women over 50 deserve content that tells the whole truth, not just the glossy travel moments, but the real story behind them. If this video resonated with you, I would love for you to subscribe. And if you are thinking about your first solo trip, or even just wondering where to begin, I have created a free 50+ travel starter kit. The link is in the description below. And I want to thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video.